birds. Straight body panels. Which cleans up really good when you want to clean it up. So yeah, this is 2017 BMW 330i. Currently has about 90,000 miles on it. This has been my personal car for about 3.5 years. I hit a cardboard box. I gotta get in there, get that fender liner off, and pop that back in. Yeah, same time, hit a cardboard box at freeway speed. Actually pushed this. I don't know what's going on right now. I'll probably leave that. Yeah, it's just gonna be, I'm just gonna walk through all the stuff that I've had to do on the car in 3.5 years. I got it at 54,000 miles. So yeah, we put almost at 40,000 miles on it since then. I'll show you the inside real quick. It's got the, comfort access, I think it's called. It's got a little saddle brown, very dirty in here, so do not judge that. I haven't detailed it in a while. Got a little bit of wear on the steering wheel, right here and here. Only on that one side, I guess I gripped it too hard one day when it was hot out, and we peeled back some of the finishing on the... is this actual leather? I don't think so. I don't know. But yeah, it's doing alright. Not a lot of blemishes. A couple wear and tear, like here, you got discoloring, but it's not cracked. That's cool. We got a bicycle in the back, full size, 29-inch wheels. Seats fold down flat. It's a split. But the seats look good. There might be a little minor indentation on the headrest from it sitting down. We got CarPlay with navigation. Yep, we got a sunroof. So, cool car. Cool car. These are 18-inch wheels. It's a staggered setup. So I think these are, what's it say down there? Yeah, 225s in the front, which is, I think, is 8-inch wide rim, and 255s in the back, which is 8.5 width on the rim. The exhaust is modified only to the extent that the catalytic converter is replaced with a straight pipe, so they call that a down pipe. Modifications other than that are the tuning software, boot mode. I have the Stage 2 tune installed for 93 Octane. It's not bad for like a sports car, a sporty-ish car. It's certainly not a sports car. It only has 250 horsepower, right? But if you're coming off of something like previous car that's not sporty at all, it's a good little get up. Yeah, so down there, you probably not gonna see this on GoPro, but there's an Armatrix is the brand name. Catless downpipe, plastic tray that sits on here. Took that off, just traps heat. There's a sound deadening, like this big ass foam feeling. I don't know. It's like a flexible partition. It's made of some type of foam or something. I don't know. Took that out. I mean, we're just trapping heat. what is the point? In my opinion, let that shit out. I mean, it might sound a little louder from the cab. So I've got a full list of everything I've done on the car since I was the owner. So first thing that happened, second week of ownership, on this side in a parking lot, it got grazed, like someone cut too early and dented this, and then they cracked the headlight assembly, the lens, not the whole thing, just the lens got cracked. So that, I don't even know if you can see the repaint job. It's hard to see it, but I'm pretty sure if you're really scrutinous, I think right here you would notice there's a bit of like an orange peel. Not really too noticeable, but yeah. And then 2 months after that, so 3,000 miles into ownership, the cylinder head coolant line cracked. And when that happens, you're basically just pissing coolant. It's not very fast of a leak, but you're basically out of coolant. So that is this line here. This line runs behind your alternator here and right into the cylinder head. And it broke like way back in there. I think it's a plastic line. Anyways, it's not a recall, it's a service bulletin, I think. They might call it that, but they'll replace that for you at BMW if your car hasn't done it. Every time I take my car in to this dealer, they're like, it looks like you didn't do the coolant line. I have to tell them, no, don't worry about it. I changed it already. Like, don't worry about it. It's just not on the Carfax. Key fob battery, yeah. Then at 60k miles, we had the fuel tank vent valve, which is, I believe, this canister here. This is all stuff that I did myself. The coolant line I did myself. This did myself. Most of the stuff I do myself. There's enough information online that if you're mechanically inclined and you have patience and you go into it and try to learn everything about it before you do it, you're gonna be okay, I think. But you're also probably gonna have to buy some tools from time to time. 62k, yep, oil change, and I went ahead and did the spark plugs for the first time. And then right after that, we did the catless downpipe. Oh, and then I did the aftermarket, which is FTP. It's a well-known brand. The charge pipe here, the charged air pipe, so your boost coming out of the turbo, the boosted air, will travel through this guy. OEM is plastic. This one's aluminum alloy. I don't know if that's entirely necessary. Probably not. I probably got sold on that one. It's okay. Next we had to do... Okay, so that's when I tuned it. So the car technically has been tuned for like 27,000 miles on stage 2, 93 octane. So 27,000 miles. Yeah, I didn't think about that till today. That's interesting. No problems with it. No problems. Looks like we also did a K&N drop-in filter. It's actually probably time for me to buy a new filter, air filter. 65k, we did brake pads and rotors, just did them all. An oil change again, so I've been shooting for 5k interval on the engine oil. Keep everything happy. You know, your Valvetronic really depends on oil, good oil. You know, I don't know if you know this, but it's not like a traditional throttle blade. The throttle blade's pretty much always open when you're driving, and the amount of air that gets into the cylinder is really controlled by the valves that sit directly over this cylinder head. At 69,000 miles, wheel speed sensor went bad, so you get like a what was it? ABS light, something about ABS warning will come on because it doesn't know what speed that wheel's spinning at. Okay, so that was 69,000 miles. Now these are things like you could definitely do that. Not hard at all. If you do one, the next one you'll do will take you like 20 minutes. Yeah, you can change those real quick. At 70,000 miles, I did passenger front wheel hub. So the wheel bearing was making this awful squeaking noise. like I thought my brakes were applied and like I was down to like the wear bar in the brake pad, the one that just starts squealing to let you know, like, hey. No, it was the damn wheel bearing. Very loud, very loud. You'll know. Just jack it up, start spinning wheels, and you'll find it. Okay, tires in alignment at 74,000. So my tires right now got about 17,000 miles on them. They don't look too good. So it also turns out currently that the dealer said this tire has a hop to it, which I confirmed that on my own. I jacked it up and looked. So it's got a little bit of a hop to it, a little out of round. And then apparently this one has a slight bend in it. So I learned these two facts on the same day from the dealer. The alignment got into spec. When they went to balance it, they couldn't quite balance it, you know. So he said, hey, it's not going to be perfect. So when I'm driving, we got a little bit of a steering wheel shake. It's not a lot. Then we got another oil change. At 81,000, Vanos actuators on the intake and exhaust side. So I was noticing an issue where if I wanted to, let's say I'm cruising at 40 miles an hour, not too fast, and I let off the throttle real quick, and let's say I'm at like just under 2,000 RPM, I let off the throttle completely, I go to get back on the throttle, it has a noticeable hesitation before we get any response back into the throttle. So it's just got a hesitation. And I just research, what could it be? Check my spark plugs, they're fine. Everything was fine. And this is what I tried, and it seems to have worked. Now this is an absolute pain in the ass of a job. All of this cowling plastic has to come off. There's actually like right above that like aluminum foil looking, there's like a firewall piece that's got to come off. You have to buy this like special wrench that has these, I'm not even gonna explain it, just Google it. You gotta buy a special wrench that gets back in there because it's keyed into these actuators, and you gotta turn them. Dude, that was so tedious. Absolute most tedious job. 84,000, 85,000, rear struts, front struts. Front, oh my god, spring compressor. If you don't have legit professional style spring compressor, you're gonna need 2 sets of Harbor Freight cheap ass spring compressors. You gotta get 4 of those things on the spring because the spring just wants to like bow out, and you can't get it seated on like the perch of the strut. Alignment at 86. That's when I found out. Hop bent. Another oil change, 88. Passenger rear wheel speed sensor. Now this one's interesting. When you got the rear one going bad on you, the car really doesn't like that. What I had to do was, just because I drove around in 2 weeks like this, put the car in traction mode off and stability control off if you can. Do both. So I'll just put you in comfort mode, so you gotta suffer for a couple, for the time being. You gotta suffer in no boost. But yeah, you can do them. Not hard to do. Not hard. And then at 90K, sway bar end links went bad. There's like a really loud rattle. It truly sounded like a part was going to fall off my car, but no, it just turns out it's a tiny little sway bar links that connect to like the control arm to sway bar. I could go like this, push down on car would make noise only on this side. I could go over there, no noise at all. And then I really confirmed it. If you have two people, have someone do what I just said, push down, get under the car, get your hand on all the individual suspension parts, and just feel for any vibration or any like clunking noise, and then you'll find it. Okay, so that, believe it or not, is everything. Now, after this video, I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna kind of like sit down and figure out how much each of these were, and we'll throw it all. I'll throw it all on the video here. All right. Filter, I'll do spark plugs again because the car's tuned. It likes to run a lot of fuel, so I'm sure they're probably getting a little worn out carbon deposits on there or something. Trans fluid and filter, I'm on the fence about this one. Transmission seems to be doing absolutely perfect. No complaints about it. I'm on the fence about it. Do I change it? Do I not change it? The other one I got here in the list, differential fluid, I'll probably do that one for sure. I do a lot of highway miles. Let's do that one for sure. And then brake fluid, flush. I don't know if I even need that, but probably would be a good idea. I really want to get the TU high pressure fuel pump. So the G series and the Supras have a more, the fuel pump flows more fuel, something like 20 to 30% more fuel. So that's what I want to do, so I can run ethanol. I experimented with running the E30 blend of ethanol. It was going good. I did it on and off for about a month or two. It pulls really hard. It's amazing, and that's why I want to go back to it. The reason I stopped doing it is because one day, it seems I got my mix a bit wrong. We probably had too much ethanol in there. I'm sure of it. So when I was getting up to like into boost, let's just say getting into boost, it didn't like that. It was cutting out, and I was like, oh fuck, I know what's going on. We fucked up the mix. So no problems after that. You just gotta drive it like grandma, get all the ethanol out of there, flash it back to 93 octane. And I was like, you know what? Doesn't make sense to do this. This could be a really bad situation of running lean while at boost. So we will try to get that fuel pump. I don't know though, it's $450. I mean, if I sell mine that's on there now that works, we could recoup some of it, so there's that to think about. After that, I would like to get some different wheels. I absolutely am over run flats. They're loud, rough, they're just not worth it. And they're extremely expensive. They're like $300 a fucking tire. Nah, some aftermarket wheels would be dope. Maybe the lowering springs or just coilovers to get it lower. The front's stupid high. It's stupid high. Other than that, I will keep this car basically unchanged. All right, so 95 or plus % of the time I drive in the sport mode, and within that 95% of the time, probably about half of it, I got it over in the manual mode, and I'll just shift on my own because it's actually somewhat engaging. I do like driving. Driving is definitely a fun thing. I like to drive, not irresponsibly fast or anything. I've never drag raced this car. I've never done a brake stand or burnout in this car. I just civilized, somewhat spirited driving. That's basically as best I can explain it. Yep, that's what we do. Never lugging the engine, bro. If you're gonna get on the throttle, you better downshift and get up above 2,000, preferably close to 3,000 if you're gonna get into it. Lugging the engine, terrible idea in any engine, right? You're probably putting a lot of stress on timing chains and all. I'm not a mechanic. I'm not gonna get into it, but that is my like mantra for this car is never lug this engine. Look at where redline is, guys. I've never been over 5.5, but look at redline. Redline is like, it's not even a real redline. They're like, okay, I think 7 would be a good one, but honestly, it'd probably be higher. Redline is 7,500. So. Just the old downpipe. All right, sounds like a very healthy car. Just got enough power that I'm happy. These windows up, there's AC on. AC's good AC. Gotta change the cabin filter. Gotta change that. Starting to notice a bit of a musk to it. Change cabin filter. But yeah, good power, especially if you're coming off of a car that was not sporty in the slightest. You're gonna be pretty happy with the way it performs. And as far as tuning goes, it's probably not worth tuning if you're gonna just do the stage 1. It's really underwhelming. I would say if you're gonna tune, go straight to the stage 2. Keep your catalytic converter, your OEM one, if you can. Keep the OEM in case you want to put it back, in case you want to sell it. Now, if you're watching this and you have a 20i model, you should know that those models really aren't a good candidate to tune up and boost even higher than OEM, right? Because your compression ratio on those pistons are like 12-1 or something like that. The compression ratio on this one is like 10.5-1. So, long story short, your car is more prone to blowing up if you have the 20i model and you decide to. Yeah, they claim you can gain 50 horsepower, and that's true. That's true, but you're also rolling the dice a lot more than with 30i model. Alright, I'm gonna go hop on the freeway. I'm gonna go ride bikes. So, we got loud cabin noise from run flats being loud, a little bit of uneven wear at this point because the 2 front wheels are a little effed for reasons I've already explained. Actually, the reason is unknown. The reason why they're fucked, it's kind of unknown. Right? I don't know. I'm not even gonna get into it. Potholes would be my guess. Potholes would be my guess. Or railroad tracks. Perhaps I went over a railroad track a little too fast. The car didn't. The wheels, couldn't handle it or something. I don't know. Now, I think we're at, we had 70 miles an hour. Sorry, I got the wrong lens on this camera for this. So I'll let go of the steering wheel. It's pretty dead, but you can feel it, especially in your feet. You feel a little bit of just vibration. That's that. Some speeds, say like 50 miles an hour, you do feel it a bit more, depending on the road. If it's a real smooth road, just depends on the road. But yeah, not a big deal really at all. I'm sure arguably you will wear through the front suspension components a bit more faster than normal.